Community Beacon, Fridays at 6:30 EST, with your hosts Michaeldseville and Joel Simmons. A channel whose focus is liberty. A place where the lessons discussed and taught will create openings to a more open and freer mindset. A mindset where you may reach the height of your potential and excel. Here are your hosts, Mike and Joel.
Yes, sir. We are back again. Oh, man.
In the place to be.
I gotta get rid of my jacket. I'll be right back.
That's the brother is getting rid of his jacket. All right. Wardrobe change. Listen, we appreciate you all. This is Community Beacon. I am one of your hosts, Mike Seville, your real estate guy here in South Florida. On the other side of the screen, we got my brother from another mother, the diva, Joe Simmons, man. Brother, how you doing?
That's good. The clap room was for you, but I should have went and played something else after you called me a diva. Gosh, man. I'm trying to help out so that when the viewers look, they're like, "Oh man, that dude, he's got the same jacket on. Call me out and everything."
I tell them they know me. Listen, you guys, you know me. You know. But listen, guys, I appreciate it for you all checking in. Let's get this housekeeping in order, and we can get into the show. Last time it was a really quick show. I think sometimes because our announcements take so long. But guys, like, share, comment, hit the notification bell, depending on what platform you're on. We definitely do appreciate it. Engage in it. Let's have that. Let's have the conversation. I'm with it. Of course, guys, remember that we have several other shows. Check out our different platforms, man. Michaeldseville Real Estate. I'm actually going to drop a new channel, so I'm going to work on that. I've been getting the fit. I should have did it a while ago, and I didn't. So I will be definitely dropping that channel. That be less.
What's that going to be about?
Real estate and it's about the conversation. It's going to be a lot about having these different conversations that we have, going in depth. I'm going to be doing reviewing some music. I'm going to be reviewing a lot of things that's going on in the culture. And it's really just at the end of the day, it's about growth. I feel like we've gotten to a point where we have to grow. We've had some awesome things that have come out of our culture, etc. But then at some point in time, we just stopped growing. So I've heard, I believe it was Muhammad Ali who said the same man who's 25, if he's the same man at 45, has just wasted 20 years of his life, which means that there's growth that needs to be involved. So that's essentially what it's going to be about. And so you heard it here first, because that's good. That's going to help keep me accountable. Now every Friday the brother's going to say, "Hey brother, where's the channel?"
Yeah.
But check out also, Joe has the Tenacity Foundation. You all check that out, man. It starts with me. I believe you're starting the new season, or you've already started at this point the new season of It Starts With Me. I think you said you were having a Christmas episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, everybody, you'll get a glimpse into the new It Starts With Me on Christmas Day. It's going to populate on Christmas Day, so you'll be able to check that out.
So go back
just
and
a little
check
Christmas wish. Yep, that's it. Go back and check it. Yep. And then the rest of it's coming out in the new year. Yeah. New Year. So some good stuff. We got some stuff for you. So it'll be fun.
Third season, 3 years in, man. What a beautiful thing. Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
And I owe a lot of that to God and to the real estate king over there on the other side, who said, "Man, we gotta make a show." That's what he said.
Listen, God gets all the glory. I just speak. He just put the message in. I just got to be in alignment. As long as I honor it, it is what it is. But I definitely appreciate you honoring the vessel that it came through, because that's all it is, guys. Humbly. So I appreciate that, brother. I definitely do. So now we got New Year's. We got New Year's, the new year. Is it New Year's or New Year?
It should just be one, because we only get one at a time.
New Year, but then it's New Year Day. It's New Year's. It's
Happy
the
New
year's
Year.
day.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Around this time, I know we all start to the momentum gets going for a lot of people. I know that was used to be my thing way back in the day, where around New Year's you get that extra push to do different things, try new things. You know, we started to have our what is it called? I don't even remember what's called. Resolutions.
A
We
New
become
Year
resolute
resolution.
about things. Yeah, we
Yeah.
become resolute around uh, different things and hoping to break some of the patterns that we possibly had that may or not necessarily have served us or serving us anymore. They've probably served us in the past, but at this point we're attempting to uh, change our patterns. My understanding is that most the New Year resolutions don't go until past February. I think there's an actual date, but let's just say February. I think some people, if they really have that momentum, going to go past 45 days. Um, hey, I'm telling you, everyone, good luck and congratulations with it, man. I'm I'm of the mindset that we should just start where we're at. Um, don't leave things in the past. I think a lot of the things that we've done were lessons that's teaching us. So when we're saying that we're starting something new, I think we're starting on a certain type of foundation because we've already had these lessons, and what we need to do is learn from them. It's not a failure until you stop. It's really just a lesson. And listen, do not take 25, 30, 40, 50 years of your life and just leave it behind you. Figure out what it was and learn from it. That's my thought process on it. But at the same time, good luck. What about you, brother?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I found a study that said 36 days.
36.
36
So that's
days.
February, around
So
February
almost.
5th, 7th or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost half of Americans will make New Year resolutions, but only a third will keep all of them. And a lot of
Yeah.
them have to deal with finances for the new year, and then a bunch is exercise, weight loss, and health related goals. And young adults 18 to 34 are the largest demographic that sets New Year resolutions. So I don't know.
1834.
1834. That's
Yeah, I
interesting,
can see
right?
that.
I think that's definitely programmed. I think it's definitely programmed. That's programming. It's like you're growing older because I remember when
Hmm.
I was younger, it's like, oh, you got to set your New Year's resolution. As I got older, people, I never heard about that anymore. It was just like you got to get to the ball, or you got to kiss your wife, or it's got to be the first kiss, and all these different traditions all over the place. And now that I'm more in the business world, it's like, set your business plan. You should be working on your life business plan for the next year, your Q1, your Q2, your Q3, your Q4, and you should be drumming that up, coming into November. In November, October, November,
Yeah.
you should be working on
Yeah.
Q1, because you're in
Hmm.
Q4, and that's the way it should be for
Yeah.
every quarter, right? So it's just like it's totally different now. But I understand that also. So for me, man, it's like that means a lot to me. But it's not about resolutions because I just feel
Hmm.
like it's not about the word because I think that the word is correct, right? It's about the things that I want to be resolute. I deem or I am stating that I will be resolute about something. I will be resolute
Right.
with my exercise. I will be resolute with my health. So it's not the word, it's the actions that come with it, and it's the
Hmm.
lack of actions that come with it. I think that that's the part that is like, man, I don't want to set a resolution because half of the people I know that set them, it's like, I won't eat sugar anymore. Like, what are you doing? Why are you eating that? You just told me a week and a half ago you weren't going to do it. I know, but I'm starting on Monday.
I think New Year's happens on a Monday, so they don't even get that this year. I've seen a
Not this
couple
year.
years where they were like, "I'm starting on Monday." It's the first though. But go ahead, brother.
No. Jump on in, man. Go for it.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm with it. Um I don't want to downplay it. Let's get the positivity out of it.
Let's
I
do it.
understand people's conscious. Yeah, I understand people's the consciousness of the people. And here's one thing is that whenever you can get some kind of momentum, or when any time that something can kind of support whatever it is that you're doing in a positive fashion, I say grab hold of it. You know what I mean? Let's not. I don't want to downplay it to the fact of, here it comes, and yeah, might as well not do anything. No, here, take it, grab the momentum, but let's start putting. I would just add to it by saying, let's start putting some plans in place. Let's start thinking about these actions. A couple weeks ago, or maybe yeah, a couple weeks ago, I spoke about some of the keys to generational wealth. And when you really like look at the keys to the generational wealth, it becomes very incremental. A lot of things are just incremental. I mean, you could put these things into place, but they're incremental things. You don't just jump from broke. I owe $60,000. Most people, anyways, and I'm not talking about the exceptions to the rule, but most people who are broke and are in debt, tens, twenties, tens of thousands of dollars, they don't in within 3 to 6 months become millionaires. It just doesn't work like that. So, and this is I'm talking about probability versus possibility. The possibility is endless. Anything can happen. That's one thing for sure. However, most things tend to be incremental in nature. So the first thing incrementally I would do in regards to adding to this momentum is start to really just take a look at the habits that we have. Um, let's use health and weight as an example. When people come to me and say, "Hey, I want to lose, Mike, I want to lose weight." I see you got up here and you went down here. Like, how do you do that? I said, no problem. I said, first thing we do is we're gonna start like watching what we eat. And they were like, well, what do you mean? I'm gonna cut back on, like, here's it, the sugar. I'm gonna cut back on. I'm not gonna eat. You go. I'm not gonna eat sugar no more. I'm not gonna have bread. I'm not gonna have these things. And I say, hold your horses. What I say is, for the first week, just write down what you regularly eat. That's how I would start. I would just say, okay, what am I eating for this week? I'm not changing anything. Every time I want to eat or I'm hungry for whatever it is, I'm going to go do it, but I just want to see exactly what's going on. I would just carry a little journal around and say, okay, I got hungry and I walked past the kitchen and there was a snack there. Even write like what the context of why you're getting hungry. Ah, man, I was just sitting in the couch. It was 5 o'clock and I just felt like I needed some Doritos or something. Okay, just write it down. I went and I got me a bunch of Doritos. And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna be funny about doing this. And even if you do it for more than a week, just the fact of writing these things down is gonna start to curb your appetites. It's gonna start to make you not want to eat as much as you were already eating. So maybe this lasts more than a week. Maybe just for the first 2 to 3 weeks of the new year, just start to write down what you eat and then gauge what happened the first week and what happened the third week. I can almost guarantee you every time by that third week, you would have already started to reduce your caloric intake without even putting a plan into place. You're just gonna start doing it just for the fact of now that you have become awareness, and we spoke about this before, brother. Just by being aware, Peter Drucker talks about what gets measured gets improved. He didn't even talk about starting to do anything with it. The quote is, "What gets measured gets improved." So just by starting to measure it and become aware of it, you're going to notice a change. And then after that third week, then you can start to get into the nitty gritty. And really what you should be aiming to do is just reduce your caloric intake by 100 calories every day. You ain't even did nothing yet. You haven't been to the gym, which is where we always going to the gym. You haven't started going outside running, which is going to come with delayed onset muscle syndrome. Anybody know about DOMS knows what I'm talking about. And when people start to go to the gym and start to get in shape and they start to get these pains because maybe they haven't been used these muscles in X amount of time, it's not really going to have you want to go back to the gym the next day. or do it even sometimes even the next couple of days. Now you're taking days off, etc., because you're feeling this pain in your body. But we haven't even gotten that far. I don't even want you. All I would do is say walk briskly for not even briskly, just walk for 15 to 20 minutes 3 times a week. Start there for the first month. That's your exercise. Do not join the gym. Walk briskly 15 to 20 minutes 3 times a week, and then write down everything it is that you're eating. Do that for
I
the
like it.
first 3 to 4 weeks of the year. Come back in February, and then you reassess. Now we just start to, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I don't need to drink soda anymore, or less soda. Maybe I can have less soda. Maybe I start to put water with my cranberry juice or whatever the kind of juice it is that you drink. Just like little incremental changes, because as I told you, you didn't get here. This is what we tend to forget. We didn't get here by a quick decision. You didn't just gain weight or get out of shape. Let me say that better. You didn't get out of shape. It didn't happen over the course from high school to, say you're 30 in your 30s or 40s. It didn't happen yesterday. You didn't at high school. You didn't all of a sudden just gain 100 pounds, or 50 or 75 or whatever it is, or lose all kinds of muscle mass, etc. It didn't just happen like that. This happened over 10 to 15 years. Give yourself a year or 2 years to start to figure it out. Because now what you're building up is you're building up awareness, and then you'll start to build up new habits, and you'll start to replace the bad habits with these new healthier habits. And that's it. It's the same conversation I'm going to give you in business. If you are already running a business and you came to me, you said, Mike, I wanna start a new business, or I want my business. We're gonna start essentially by assessing what's going on in your business. Let me see your books. And here's what you're gonna get from most people. They don't even have books. There's no books to be had in regard to business. They don't know what they were spending, what's coming from the business, what went back into the business, what was going on in personal life, etc. It's just a whole bunch of this, all piled out. So what I would tell them is, because I don't want anybody to get overwhelmed. This is avoiding overwhelm, because overwhelm will cause anxiety, and anxiety also causes you to stop, right? People don't know where to start. I'm going to say you start with your awareness. So in business, what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say, just let's start writing down these numbers. Oh, I don't want to go all the way back. Okay, don't go all the way back. Start with today. What did you buy from the business that was your business today? What did you buy personal? Start writing these things down and keeping a track of it. Do that for about 2 to 3 weeks or a month. And then you go to, okay, I want you to go, do you have a business account and a personal account? Oh, well, they kind of both one and the same. Okay, well, this is what I want you to do. I only want you to keep things in your business account, and then I want you to have your little personal account. And we start to separate those things. And it's just this. It's interesting how people come to you and they want to jump from here to there. And if you're bent on it, because you really got to be open to this, if you're bent on doing that, then I'll say, okay, here are 3 things for you to do. And you can't imagine the amount. And here's in real estate. I give you 3 things to do in regards to start preparing to buy a house. You can't imagine people who come to you a year or 2 years later and say, man, I didn't even do anything. Okay, so you didn't go check your credit? You didn't go get your full credit report? Nah, I didn't do that. Okay, so you didn't start figuring out how you your budget? I didn't do that. Okay, so you didn't go start I told you to go check out an open house every week so that we can get an understanding of the lifestyle and the neighborhood you want to live in. I went to once or twice, and then I just stopped going. And then we come back to the next year and we talk about resolutions, and we want to have this conversation over and over again. It just starts with awareness of where we got to see where we are. We got to know where we're going, but then we got to come back to where we are, and we have to start to become aware of it. What do you think, brother? Is that somewhat sound
gold.
advice?
That was gold right there. That was gold. That was gold. That was some good stuff right there. I hope y'all rewind this thing back and play the last 4 minutes, because that was just wow.
I would imagine, brother.
Gosh,
I would imagine for you, brother, like let's say someone wants to start their spiritual walk with God.
Yeah.
and I'm resolute about that. What's some of the first things that you would tell them to do? You have been doing it because you've been doing this for years. You've been working in the church, pastoring, and you're the elder at the church. If someone comes to you, let me know how you would handle that, because I imagine the principle would be somewhat the same.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing is always the choice. The choice is always the first thing. The choice. You have to choose what you want. So one of the last things that you had mentioned, Mike, was you were talking about the vision. Like, and so for as far as goes the vision, you remember we used to talk about Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision, make it plain upon the tables. We would always talk about that scripture. But I mean, really, when it comes down to it, the vision does not have to be that large. It doesn't have to be that grandiose. It can be something very small. Like I want to get my life together. For instance, for me, you guys will hear some of this stuff in some of my new season on It Starts With Me. But for me, there was this huge thing that came across me that was like, I cannot live the lifestyle that I'm living anymore. I can't afford it. And I don't mean like cash. I mean, I can't afford to live. I don't know if I'll continue to live if I continue to be the person that I am. I don't know what's going to happen to my daughter. My life needs to change, and I recognize that. So the first thing, you also mentioned the word awareness. Once I had that awareness, I made a decision. Okay, so what do I need to do? So these are like step one, step two. These are like baby steps. Is first, there needs to be some type of an awakening inside of somebody, and it doesn't matter which way it comes. It could come from me speaking with Mike. It could come from me going to. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to go to church to get that awakening, right? You can go and sit down with a group of people, and whatever it is, something in the atmosphere, there's a scent that reminds you of something, or somebody says something, or someone bumps into somebody, or an accident almost happens, and it triggers something inside your mind that breaks you out of your cycle, and it gives you this awareness. Once you have that awareness, this is your cue. It's your cue, because now you're thinking about God. You're thinking about your spiritual journey. You're thinking about where your soul's going. All these things start to flood inside of your mind. At that very moment, you have to take action. You have to make a choice. Action steps are very simple. It's just make a choice. Whatever that choice is, you got to stick with it. And with that choice, you have to apply an action to the choice. If you don't apply an action to that choice, it's going to go away. It's going to disappear. Yeah. For me, when this day that came up to me, it was like, it came to me, I need to make a change. The first thing that came to my mind was Jesus. I don't know how to get in touch with Jesus. And nobody I'm around knows how to get in touch with Jesus. So I made a choice. I need Jesus. My action plan was very simple. Call mom. Very simple. It was so simple. I just called my mom up, and she answered. I said, Mom, I need Jesus. She said, okay, I got you from here. So these things, like when it comes out, and you ask me what would I do, it's like, well, those first things generally have already happened by the time you come and you see me. Yeah. You've already entered into the process of making this change. And I was thinking about, while you were talking, Mike, it was like, change. How do I get the change? Change consists of, like, there's a bunch of things, but I want to just name three things: belief, action, and then you mentioned habit. So I want to throw a habit in there, and I want to keep it there, right? So belief, your belief, once that awareness kicks in, your belief begins to be reborn. It grows. It starts to live again. Now there comes, you make a choice. Okay, I'm going to do something, or I'm going to provide this action. So you do whatever that is. Maybe that's a prayer, one prayer. That's it. It's one prayer, And so what ends up happening is you repeat that action. Very simple. Just repeat it. It can be a very small action. I'm going to pray each morning. Very small thing. I'm not going to make a big deal of it. Maybe I don't get down on my knees. Maybe I'm not going to stay there for 5 minutes. But when I sit up in my bed, I'm going to say, Lord, I thank you. That's it. That's it. Very simple. Lord, I thank you. Acknowledgement. That's it. That's my prayer. I don't know how to do a whole lot of praying, so I'm just going to say, Lord, I thank you. That's it. And now,
Hmm.
I'm not going to even say I'm going to do it later on tonight. I'm going to do it this afternoon. I'm not even going to say I'm going to stop cussing. I'm not going to say I'm going to stop doing anything that I'm doing wrong. All I'm saying is I'm going to say this prayer when I get up. Now, the next day, I do it again. Lord, I thank you. And so I do it again. You do it. Once you start doing that, you're creating a new habit, a new habit. And what happens is that with that new habit, you have an enlarged belief. So in the very beginning, you had this
Yep.
awareness belief. It was very small, it was limited, and you created this one action. I said a prayer. I didn't change my lifestyle. I'm still out there, gambling. I'm still out there drinking. I'm doing all those things that I was doing before, but I said my prayer. And now, because I've
Yep.
done it a couple times, my belief system has gone up. Something inside me says, maybe this is working. And then there comes
Hmm.
another thought. Man, I'm going to go stop by the church. I'm not going there for the service. I'm not changing my clothes. I'm just going to stop by.
Yep.
That's all. That's all. Maybe I'll just drive by. Maybe I'll go and just look at the door. And then I do it again. And so once again, now you're adding a new action into this wheel of change. And so now I'm saying a prayer every morning, and now I'm stopping by the church. Before you know it, someone comes out, they see you. They say, hey, why don't you come on inside? Well, since I'm here. Or, nah, I'm okay. Well, take my phone number. These little tiny things show up later. They show up later. They don't have to come right now. Shows up later. 2 weeks from now, I've been praying and I've been stopping by, and all of a sudden something hits me. I need to make a change, and I say, what do I do? Oh, let me call that person that I just met 2 weeks ago. And this is how the building blocks of your faith begins to move in the direction that you will go. Newton's law, the first law, is a body in motion stays in motion. I was going to quote that for what you were talking about with exercise, but you can use it here. By continually waking up to say that prayer, or just going out there, your body is in motion, your spiritual body is in motion, and because you continue to keep it in motion, it stays in motion. And what happens is it eventually becomes stronger, just like in exercising. You started off with light weights, but now you're lifting a heavier weight. You started off with just a little prayer, but now you're attending a service. Now you're reading a scripture. Now you're participating with the pastor. Now he's got you on speed dial. Now you're the
Come on.
greatest worker in the whole church. Now you want to become a deacon. Now you feel moved to become a preacher. Now you want to go out on a mission trip and help families, and you want to go and talk to people and tell them how I got over. Now you're not worried about the drinking anymore. Now you're not doing the lying anymore. Now, like the scripture said, he that stole, let him steal no more. Now you're not doing all those things. But it doesn't come from now. That's not the now. The now is, man, I'm just gonna say, Lord, I thank you in the morning. That's it.
Hmm.
That's it. That all of that other stuff, we get bogged down in all that other stuff. That may be part of the vision, but we don't know clearly how to see to get there. You just got to take that first step. That's it. Take the first step and start moving in that right direction. Yeah.
It's it, man. And this is it. And you start to just these one little things, brother, that creating a habit. I loved it. It started with the small thing, and then that after you start to gain that habit, you said you start to increase your belief. So the belief starts to become increased, and you're being, especially once you become, it almost like it's. This is how you can consciously start to do things and reward yourself, because a lot of things that we do are based on the pain, avoiding pain and gaining pleasure. So these are some some of these little things that you can consciously start to do and start to reward yourself for it. And that's where I think we come in, or as a person, someone outside of you. That's why it's great to get around great people that are supporting you. Whenever I start to see people make changes as small as they are, I'm always encouraging of it. Listen, hey, because that's growth. That's really what success is. Success is growth and expansion. So and so as long as you're growing and you're expanding, you are successful. Especially if
Mm.
it's healthy. So it's like
Let me show.
we
Let me
need to
show
be an
this real
encouragement.
quick, bro.
Yeah, go
Let me
ahead.
just let me show this. Can you read that right? Does it say change for you on the screen,
Yeah,
or is
yeah.
it
I
backwards?
see change. It says change. Yeah, it does say change.
And then BAH, right?
What do you got there? Hold on, I'm gonna see if I could.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna make it bigger.
belief,
So you got. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
action, habit. Belief, action, and habit.
Hmm.
This is where you start off with something very small, and then this what happens. So now your habit creates a stronger belief. So now you got double
Hmm.
B's there. See
Mm.
that? And then what ends up happening is your double belief creates a new action. Now you got double A's. And then your action creates a new habit. So now you got double H's. And then what ends up happening is that new habit creates stronger belief. This is
Come on, man.
growth. This is what you're talking about. This is growth. This is the change. You don't know how to get where you're trying to get, but it's that simple. And because that belief creates another action, which creates another habit, which creates a stronger belief. That's change. You're changing. You don't see that change. It's like with a child. You don't get a chance to see. If you know, like I remember Paul when Paul was small, but Paul is walking now.
Yeah, running,
I missed a whole
running.
lot of that in between. I'm still thinking about him laying up inside the bathtub. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember you showed the pictures of that. I remember when you carried him in your arms. So time moves by so fast. Some people, they look at my son. Look at your son. They look at our children. They're like, they're looking at our big boys, I should say, because you got two sons. But they're looking at
Yeah,
them. They're
yeah, yeah.
like, what on earth? What happened? What happened? Where did those kids come from?
The voice,
You
the
know?
voice gets deeper. Everything, but it's the change, brother. And I like when you look at the description that you just showed up there, that visual. You see how it compounds on each other, and so now we're
Mm.
starting to see exponential growth. So it's like it becomes
Yes.
exponential. It's multiplied, because it's not B plus B. It's really B times B. I don't want you to add
Yes.
anything. I want you to multiply everything. So it's really multiplication. It's B times B times B times B. Can you think about it? You ever seen it? Two times two times two times two times two
Hmm.
times two. And by the time you look at the numbers, you're already 100 off times. Here's the funny part is that by the time you get to that two times two times two, to the 10th to the 5th to the 20th power, you can't even recognize, like, in that change, you have become. Like, you
Yes.
have become these things, right? So it's like, now it's not even a forceful thing. It's just a walk of life. I'm gonna go back to my waking up early in the morning. It's just me. So for a person who is just starting, I had to have empathy and understanding about that. They looking at it like this. You start to tell somebody this. Here's one quick one too. It's fasting.
Mm.
I can do a 24 40 hour fast and just off the strength of just
Mm.
because it was time to. But it's
Mm.
it's because of who I've become. To where it's just like, isn't it? So now when you tell someone who's never done it before, they look at you crazy. 20.
Hmm.
I was like, what do you mean you didn't eat? You didn't eat for 24 hours? And I'm so far past it. I'm just like, you eat every day? You're right. Like it's that kind of conversation.
Hmm.
Like you go months without fasting, like or you've never fasted before. You know what I mean? Like so it's so far gone because it's been multiplied to a point that it's not even something that I even talk about. You know what I mean? Only the
Right.
people who are starting and stopping, starting and stopping. They always talking about this thing. They starting and stopping. You ever see bodybuilders? Bodybuilders don't talk about it 9 times out of 10 unless you go ask them. They just in the gym. You just see these big, bulky looking guys just walking around, and you go to ask them if you're just starting, and they're just like, okay, you have 100 grams of protein. I don't know. I don't even count my protein no more. They don't even count their protein no more because they know almost exactly how much chicken and salad that they supposed to eat, whatever it is that they're eating for the time. Like they don't even think about it. Yeah, I'm just doing it. You just in there like, so I gotta eat chicken. You know what I mean? Like chicken with no, it's not fried. So you saying I gotta stop frying chicken? Consistently. I can't fry chicken on after I leave here. I can't go to McDonald's how I leave here. You just become. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is when the ease starts to happen. The ease is because I know me and my distinction of words. I hear difficult, I hear hard, and I hear discipline, and I hear grinding. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling you nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna tell you that it becomes a lot easier when you're in the being of what it is that you are.
Simple.
It's not even
Yeah.
the grind don't even seem like it's a grind because it's hey, this is just what I do. This is just who I am. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got to grind and discipline. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying that it doesn't feel that way. I just sat down there and I'm writing my standard operations of procedure. When I first did it, it was this tedious task that I had to put together. Like it's a tedious
Hmm.
task. Now I'm doing it. I'm unconsciously competent to it. So I'm just doing it. I'm eating breakfast. I'm talking to my son. He's getting ready, and I'm just like, okay. And I put it down, and I come back to it, and I go back to it, and it just becomes this thing of ease for me. You know what I mean? This conversations, but it starts with that little thing, like, okay, I don't like the way this doesn't make sense to me. I'm aware of it, like the brother has, and I believe there's something else, a change to it, and then we say, what was the next one? Choice? Was it
Action.
B then
Yeah.
C?
Choice.
Action. Excuse
Yeah.
me.
You
Then you
make a
got it.
choice
Then I'm an
and an
action.
action.
Okay, I'm gonna create this action, and I'm gonna do it. So today I'm just gonna write one thing. Just the next day, hey, maybe I'm just gonna write this one thing. I'm not even gonna. It's just gonna take me 3 to 5 minutes. Maybe I need the discipline for that. It's gonna take me 3 to 5 minute discipline, but we're not gonna make this hard. And then we get to what was the next one? It was B, habit.
Habit.
It just becomes a habit. You could apply this across the board. That's how I got to reading the Bible every day. It started with, oh God, I'm gonna read this whole chapter. Imagine if you try to take on the entire book of Genesis. I'm
Mm.
gonna sit down and I'm gonna read Genesis today. It's Sunday and I'm just gonna read Genesis, right? Like you gonna get, or really the worst part would be like numbers or something. But I'm gonna read Genesis today. So you get to reading Genesis, excited because you heard of the story, the first story, Adam and Eve. You heard about it. Oh, it's exciting. Then it gets to a part of Genesis, you're like, okay, this get kind of, I'm kind of getting lost here. It's losing me. You won't even finish Genesis, and then you say I'm gonna come back to it. Then you always have something better to do. But if you just say, listen,
Mm.
habit stacking is another reason. Habit stacking is dope. You just say, listen, every time I do this, here's a vulnerable moment for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, for me when I got to reading the Bible, when it wasn't discipline, because there was a time when it was just discipline, and when I was in college. But when it was just like I want to create this habit of reading it, I put it in the bathroom. I said every time I go to the bathroom, I'm gonna read a chapter. I'm in there anyways. God forgive me if I'm for me telling you all this story, but I'm being honest. I'm being transparent. I was like, I'm gonna put my Bible in this bathroom. I just showed my Bible to Mark the other day. That same Bible I started with. It's falling apart. You know what I mean? I know the brother probably got a Bible that don't fall apart. My Bible is falling apart from how many times I done, just was it. And that's just how it started. Every time, hey, I go to the bathroom every day, so when I go there, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this chapter, just one for the day, and that's it. And now it's just like it's a habit. It's just me. I'm reading it today. Maybe I may, and then if I have a question, I'm gonna give it to the brother. I got a question about this part, brother. Well, if I have, whatever it is, just that's how we start this stuff. And I know we don't went longer than we said we were gonna go, but I think this is some exciting information for people as we start to use this momentum that's taking us into the new year.
It's a
It
new
also
year.
gives us a clear understanding. Now, this is for me and the brother, and if you all are coaches or you all are around people who are starting their journey and whatever it is that's positive for them, because this was something that I had to work on. And this year, a lot of these things became real clear to me this year in regards to having compassion, empathy, and understanding for people. Is that just because we are here, we have to add patience into it for these people that are around us that we're supporting. We have to create that space of a supportive environment, because I know for a lot of us it's kind of frustrating, and let me speak for myself. It's frustrating to know that we have put in this time, because me and the brother have put in a lot of time. We spoke earlier. 3 years we've been doing this show. We just come and let God speak to us 9 times out of 10. Like, we just let God come and point us in the direction of us having this conversation. But it became a lot easier now in this third year. Like, we still, don't get me wrong, we still come with ideas for the show. However, it's so easy for us to do it because we put this time in. This is the same way that we need to look and support the people around us, our children,
Mm,
our significant others, our
mm,
parents, our
mm,
our other friends
mm-hmm.
and associates, our other brothers, is to say, okay, me and this brother been sitting. I kid you not, guys. Sometimes we on the phone for 3 hours at a time. And the brother got some other brothers that he's on the phone with for 2, 3 hours at a time. Just like I got some other people that I got that are on the phone for 2, 3 hours at a time. That we're constantly adding on to this wealth of information that we're here to pass on to you guys. So when we come to you, it sounds like, oh, this is just some type of simple thing that we just can't that we're talking about. But this comes with a lot of knowledge, a lot of going back within ourselves, a lot of refining. We talk about we talk in masonry, we talk about the gavel, we talk about like continuously redoing this brick, just making it better, just refining and refining and refining. So for you, you might say, oh, them brothers there, them brothers there got it. They already know it all. They already got it all. Nah, brothers. It's constant refining. It's constant getting information. It's constant. Sometimes we talk about the same subject several times. The brother will tell you how many times I come to him about discipline and willpower. We had that conversation. I say, hey, brother, I'm having a feeling about this word right now. I'm having a feeling about this conversation, this relationship, this thing. And we just refine it and we refine it and we refine it, and we'll continuously refine it because his vantage point, his POV, his point of view is going to be different from mine. He's a little taller than me. You know what I mean? He's seen a couple different things. He's been through a couple different experiences, and he's going to take that and knowing, I guess here it is, knowing that it's not coming from a place of attempting to, um, guide me wrong, or one that come it's coming from a place of love. So I always appreciate the brother, and definitely got to say that as we enter this new year as well, because I'm going to continuously say it. I appreciate the brother and everything that he does for me. But we're bringing this to you, and I want us all to have that type of empathy and compassion for the people who are just starting, who are getting, who are using this momentum to head in a direction to where they're starting to refine themselves and their lives and starting to know themselves and walking down their spiritual walks, business, health, spiritual, relationship, etc. you know, we're just gonna continue seeing this thing go around and go around. And if you get off track, here we are to say, listen, you just gotta be aware, take some time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to take some time and become more aware. Okay, I'm aware now. Okay, and let me head in the right direction so that we can see that growth. Because that's what you overall we want to continuously see the growth involved and the
Mm.
expansion of who and what it is that you are.
I love it. That's
Yeah,
good
brother.
stuff. That's good stuff. I appreciate you too, man. Because I mean, I even wrote down some notes too, some stuff that I want to be taking back with me. And I'm gonna tell you that's I'm glad that you brought to your piece to a close on that because
Yeah.
like that's really important. It's super super important, and that's something that I had to really take in over these last couple of months.
Mm,
Some of the things that I've been going through and the levels that of awareness that I've been going through, and especially after I received I went to my mentor, I went to my bishop, and I ended up speaking with him, and man, I got this, you know, I got a great blessing, and as far as in him praying directly for me in a specific aspect of my life, and man, it was just so pure. But let me tell you that that is one of the things because when I walked out the door, like I know that I trust in that prayer and everything, and I trust in my own prayer. But then I come back, and I'm like, I'm not even motivated to do, and I'm like,
mm.
what is this? And so I want to share this. We need to close out. I get it. We'll close out, but
No,
like I
no, take
want
your
to
time,
share
brother. What
this
you got to
piece.
say? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, what is this feeling? Like, okay, so now I'm presenting something. It's like I'm going to Mike and I'm saying, Mike, I want to do ABC. And Mike's like, okay, do ABC. I got you. And then I leave
Hmm.
from seeing Mike and I say, do I really want to do ABC? Like, what is this, right? What just happened? And before I know it, EFG is showing up and I got to take care of all
Mm,
that stuff. And so now I'm constantly working, busy, constantly working, constantly working, constantly working, you know. And then all of a sudden, I'm going by somebody. Like doing this work, I'm going by somebody. Now, granted, it's still in my heart, still in my mind, but there's not any time to do what it is that I was looking to do. And so then I walk by somebody and they say a couple of words. Boom, it hits me. And I'm like, just like I am right now, quiet, taking it in. Then I go by someone, it was actually the same person, hits me again. Then I show up here today and Mike says something, hits me a third time. Meanwhile, I've already started to put some things into motion. And what I'm getting
hmm.
at for the people's sake is just that the reflection. That's what Mike was. That's where you stopped off at. It's like sometimes if you get off track, or if you're on track and you're unsure about your next move, your next step. Sometimes it just takes some quietness, some reflection, because now that now that you've compounded your belief and you compounded your actions and you compounded your habits, and now coming out of your habits you're instead of one, you're producing two or three or four, and you're
Hmm.
timing it and your belief is soaring, and it's easy to lose certain things in translation. It's easy to forget certain things, forget certain steps, because everything can be brand new to you. Everything is so new. It's like that song, A Whole New World. And you get
Mm.
wrapped up in all of the newness of it that you sometimes leave off some of those rudimentary things.
Yeah.
That's how you got where you are. That's how you
Yep.
traversed all of that distance. And so sometimes it's just like, okay, you want to get there, but you're running too fast.
Hmm.
You forgot to put your shoes on. You can only run so fast with no shoes on so far. You're going to end up with bloody feet. You're not going to be able to run at all. You ain't got any shoes on. Your feet can only take it for so long. You need to cover your feet. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. You're going to bump your toe. And you're going to sit there for a little bit. And you're going to remember, go wash your feet off, put some socks on, get you another pair of shoes, put them on, and remember the rudiments of the lesson and start again. And we'll get there a lot faster this time because you already know which way you're going. You know where to make a left turn, you know where to make a right, you know where to go straight. But I just got to bring you back. Hold up, because you're running without shoes and you about to go through some hot. You about to go through something hot. It's going to burn your feet up. And then I'm going to take you through something cold. It's going to freeze your toes. You're going to lose toes. You're not going to have balance. And then I'm going to take you into the quicksands. And you don't even have the right equipment for quicksands yet. So that's what I got from that, you know.
That's what you got from experience. Because I know. That's what we get. That sounds like experience to me, brother. Yeah, guys. You know, that incremental, that getting there. That's something. When this is I'm telling you, if you reframe that success to growth and expansion, just growing and expanding, just growing and expanding. Don't stay the same way. I know I heard that's what they used to say in church. You can come as you are. That's what they say. Well, the Bible say come as you are. I say, yeah, that's what it say, but it don't say stay that way. and if you doing everything you're supposed to do, you're not gonna stay that way. So it's continuously growth and expansion, and then you can turn around and you can look back and you can just document. Okay, well this is where I come from. This is how I got here, and once again it goes away from that. It's no longer hard. It just is. You know what I mean? It just is, and you in that being of it that is. So, listen, have a happy New Year, happy and safe New Year. Yeah, have a happy and safe New Year. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say, brother.
For sure. Be blessed. Enjoy it. You know, bring it in with some love, some compassion. Spend some more time with your family. And then also spend some more time in your career, in your field of choice. You know, make every day count.
Yeah.
You know, make all your days count.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is that you love.
I was gonna say, brother, that don't sound like spending. That sound like investing.
Invest.
Invest in time with your family. Invest in time with your brother. I have
invest in all those things.
All right, listen, guys.
Yeah,
I think we got a little delay, but I appreciate it, and we out of here. Thanks. Peace. Happy New Year.
Happy